Tonight's matchup between Kennesaw State and Tennessee Tech, just about an hour and a half before our scheduled kickoff of 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. The rain opened up, hit the field, and certainly some lightning continuing to move throughout the area. We're expecting to see some scattered thunderstorms and showers continuing to move across the Cookeville area as we take a look at the radar. Hopefully it will clear things up very quickly so we can get things underway here from Tucker Stadium. As we say hello and welcome in Jay Walker, Tiffany Green, and certainly Kennesaw State looking to continue to make a statement. This is a program that's on the rise. What are you most looking forward to tonight?
I want to see Kennesaw State like the rest of America. Kennesaw State came in and took the FCS world by surprise. You're talking about a program that's been in existence less than 5 years. They already made an impact, winning 2 playoff games a season ago, but they've never played on national TV. So me, like the rest of the FCS world, we want to see if the Owls are real and what's their secret here in Cookeville, Tennessee.
And quickly, a quick contrast between the two quarterbacks we'll see tonight. Bailey Fisher for Tennessee Tech, a freshman. Meanwhile, Chandler Burks is a graduate.
Yeah, but when you talk about the freshman, they say he's wise beyond his ears. And Chandler Burks, last season's Big South Offensive Player of the Year, it's going to be an interesting matchup at the quarterback position.
All right, so we are scheduled to kick somewhere around 6:45 Central. On the other side of the break, you'll catch college football live. It's continuing to hang over Tucker Stadium. We've also had some lightning move through the area as well. Kennesaw State and Tennessee Tech in a weather delay. And as we take a look at the radar, the weather is still sitting over Cookeville, about an hour outside of Nashville. Good news, though, is we see players already on the field from both teams. Most of Tennessee Tech's players are out on the field. So certainly, if you are waiting the start of this one, we hope to get kicked off just about the top of the hour here from Tucker Stadium. Just about a 8 o'clock start Eastern, 7 Central. So hopefully you'll come back with us here as Kennesaw State and Tennessee Tech going to duke it out here in this non-conference matchup. Currently in a weather delay. Come back with us at the top of the hour. Soggy start from Cookeville as Tennessee Tech and Kennesaw State just about set to get underway. Nearly an hour rain delay, but we are ready to go here from Tucker Stadium. As we say hello and welcome in with the former Howard University and NFL quarterback Jay Walker, I'm Tiffany Green. Now, folks, Kennesaw State is on the come up. They won the Big South last year. They made their first ever FCS playoff appearance, and they're making their national television debut tonight.
All eyes on Kennesaw State. America wants to know what's been the secret down there in Georgia. A football program that's been playing football less than 5 years, but already has 2 playoff victories from a season ago. I'm an FCS guy. I want to know what they bring to the table. Tonight, America gets to see what makes Kennesaw State an up-and-coming program in the FCS landscape.
Well, they have an absolutely fierce ground attack led by the offensive Big South Player of the Year a year ago in Chandler Burks.
First thing you got to know about Kennesaw State, they run the option, something that's kind of a dying breed in college football. In order to do it, you have to have a great decision maker, and Chandler Burks makes the right decision and when to get rid of the football in the option game. He's also different because he can create with his legs to free up receivers downfield in the passing game, and then when he's called upon to rely on his arm, he's got the accuracy of a drop-back passer to deliver touchdown strikes. That's what keeps this option attack so hard to defend.
Meanwhile, you've got youth under center for Tennessee Tech and Bailey Fisher making just his second career start.
And Bailey Fisher needs to look across at the other sideline. He can learn a thing or two from a guy like Chandler Burks. But with Bailey Fisher, you get the good, the bad, the ugly that come with being just a true freshman starter. The ability to escape and create and pick up a first down, that's the good part about it. The bad thing, not valuing the possession of the football, throwing this ball up for grabs last week, put his defense in a tough spot. But you also like his grittiness, the ability to forget about the interception, to compete and pick up first down. This offense can go as good as the young freshman grows up tonight in only his second career start.
second week in a row, the Golden Eagles have been in a weather delay. Nearly 3 hours last week on the road at UT Chattanooga, we mentioned here. Tonight, about an hour delay before we can get it going. So finally, the players run onto the field here at home, Tucker Stadium. Still some rain coming down as Dwayne Alexander kicks off a new era for his alma mater. The head coach, as Tennessee Tech won the toss, they have elected to receive tonight. On the other side, good look there at Brian Bohannon, lead man for Kennesaw State in his 4th season as head coach, won the Big South Coach of the Year in that fantastic 2007 campaign.
They're very impressed that Kennesaw is willing to go on the road for a non-conference victory on a Thursday night to get the exposure, to show America they're not hiding their hand what they can do. And with the weather conditions here, advantage Kennesaw State. Option teams don't mind the rain as much as a team that likes to throw the ball downfield.
True freshman Nathan Robertson set to kick off. And we're underway as Andrew Goldsmith catches that one. That's a touchback. So we get a chance to see this Tennessee Tech offense and that true freshman Bailey Fisher. Fisher out of Clayton, Georgia last week. Had 117 yards on the ground, but rather through the air, but he had a team best 78 yards on the ground.
And we know he can run the football, but he has to progress as a thrower. And right away, they're coming out in shotgun formation. This is a run-first offense, but they're not going to allow you to stack the box. So Big Fisher's got to come out and make some throws tonight.
You see here on first down, pitching it out to Josh Cunningham. Cunningham with the catch. Cunningham, certainly they want to get him going early, converted from the cornerback from last season. So you'll see an up-tempo offense early on from the Golden Eagles. Handoff to Goldsmith. And he's tripped up by Anthony Gore.
When we talk about the up-tempo offense, that is by design. They want to have that ball snapped with no less than 18 to 19 seconds on that play clock. They want to get a number of plays. The difference a week ago, first down, they couldn't pick up positive yardage. Tonight, they picked up positive yards on first and second down.
3rd and 4. Again, the pass complete, this time to Goldsmith, and Goldsmith near the first down marker.
And pinned on the spot. Very, very close on that marker. It seemed like he was going to get it with the momentum, but he got turned to the outside. They might have marked him just a little bit short. See the first down markers. They're on the 35. Let's take a look. Might be short.
And with 4th and 1 to start this game, what will Tennessee Tech elect to do? Their offense still on the field.
I don't think in this situation you elect to go for it. You don't give a team great field position on their very first possession of the game.
So Dwayne Alexander will spin a timeout.
And then I think what Alexander's trying to do, he's trying to see if, hey, maybe that spot was a little bit short than it should be. If you take a look at where the ball's placed on the field, they've got the ball on the 35-yard line, right on the tip of the 35-yard line, which would be a first down because it was a touchback into the end zone. So they started on the 25. So that would be, and he's pointing at it right there. He wants to know, take a look, and they just moved the football back. This was the initial play. He had to get to the 35. He never really stepped out of bounds, but then when they placed the ball down on the field, they had it touching the 35. Now that foot does go out of bounds. Good job of camera work there.
So interestingly enough, looks like they may go for it here. 4th and 1, and they move ahead and they pick up up the first down. Big gutsy call there early on for the Golden Eagles.
Very gutsy, and I think that's the start of the Dwayne Alexander era here at Tennessee Tech. Not afraid to roll the dice. Everything says you tuck the ball away in this situation. Instead, he gives it to Andrew Goldsmith with a big run before he's brought down by Dorian Walker.
Goldsmith out of that wildcat position. Now he's lined up to the left of Bailey Fisher. Handoff to Goldsmith. Brought down by Charlie Patrick. Doesn't pick up much.
And Goldsmith's going to be one of the guys that has to have a big say in this football game here. He's got to run the ball for 2 or 3 yards a carry. You talked about Cunningham, the converted cornerback, now playing wide receiver. Bryson Armstrong, special player, number 42 in white. Look out for him. Last year's recipient of the Jerry Rice Award on the FCS level.
He tosses it up to Cunningham under Melvin Holland. So Holland brings in the catch. And we talked to the offensive coordinator, Trey Lamb, just about that first down efficiency. You mentioned it, Jay. Positive yards here.
You can pick up positive yards. In second down, you can open up the playbook. And this is a nicely thrown ball by Bailey Fisher, back shoulder to Melvin Holland.
28-yard reception, puts him near the 30-yard line. Fisher decides to keep it himself, goes to the sideline, and picks up just about 5.
Great decision by Bailey Fisher. You're going to see the tackle get beat right away on the inside stunt. He pulls the ball quickly, makes a decisive decision quickly, pull it, run it, picked up 5 yards on first down. That's the type of quarterback play they need to see from Bailey Fisher.
Fisher moving out of the pocket, goes ahead for just a couple of yards, but now this brings up third down, and again, continuing to see positive yards on each play for the Golden Eagles, a good sign early.
Third and manageable. Every offensive coordinator tells you, you give me third and less than 4 or 5 yards, then we have a higher percentage of completing the pass, of making it work. See, last season, those were some of the struggles that they've had, and now they want to work on it in this 2018 campaign.
Fisher hands it off to Goldsmith. Goldsmith tried to find his blockers on the right side, but there was the Owls defense. Anthony Gore in on the stop. The 41 in white, he had 9 tackles last weekend. So Nick Madonia now on to attempt the field goal. Senior out of Arrington, Tennessee. 41-yard tip is up. And it's good, so points on the board. That's a season long for Nick Madonia, but let's go back to that 4th down call as Golden Eagles go for it. It pays off. They put up 3.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Caramel M&Ms. We're making caramel fun. And the all-new, totally remixed Volkswagen Jetta.
Quick start for Texas Tech as they jump out to a 3-0 lead over Kennesaw State. So Tennessee Tech to a 3-0 start, and here the Golden Eagles got to feel good. Bailey Fisher was very efficient on that drive as Hadar Zaydan with the kickoff. Darnell Holland takes it out of the end zone. He's going east-west, now north-south, and he gets out just past the 30-yard line.
He can move because he did everything wrong that kickoff return. You're not supposed to. Don't drift into the end zone with momentum going backwards, but still able to bring it out for a 32-yard return.
The guy that we're excited to see in Chandler Burks, the 2017 Big South Offensive Player of the Year, Jay. He can get it done both in the air and on the ground.
They call him the OGs. He's the leader of the OGs, the original graduating class that came into Kennesaw State when they didn't even have a program. Well, he's earned it. 3.9 GPA, makes great decisions. Looking forward to watching him play tonight.
The Jay Reed on the toss, shakes the defender, first down yardage, and more as a Derek Moore pushes him out. Moore, leading tackler from a season ago. As
how about that? How about that play there? Team comes in, you know they're the #1 rushing offense in FCS from a season ago. Comes in, first play, you know they're going to run the football, and picks up 14 yards on the first run from scrimmage.
Personal foul. Defense, number 2. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So Moore flagged for the late hit.
This gets a little frustrating. Missed tackle by Tim Collins, number 8. You see Moore close to the sideline. Called it a little bit tight. It's tight. Tough break, but they're trying to set the tone here early in Cookeville.
Mention the Owls led the FCS in rushing a season ago, picked up 330 yards per game on the ground. The handoff to Jake McKenzie, picks up a couple of yards.
And that's the type of defense you're going to have. If you're going to try and stop the option, it all goes inside out. Take away the dive up the middle, then catch up to the pitchmen or the quarterbacks as they leave the pocket. 330 yards a game leading FCS. That's like Georgia Tech Navy type numbers on the FCS level.
And the pitch over to Trey Shivers, number 22, and right, and Shivers is brought down once more by Moore, but continuing to get to that second level are the Owls.
Talk about a team in unison with the running game. Great job by number 52, Ryan Boyer. Take a look at the tackle. You see him in man on the line of scrimmage. Watch him get downfield and get a hat on somebody. He's leading the entourage. You see him there. Get up to that second level so the back can pick up 8 extra yards. Ryan Boyer, good job from that right tackle position.
Burks just fumbled it, falls on it. And you talk about Ryan Warrior, the fact that he's listed at 225. That's kind of small for a tackle, isn't it?
Yeah, but we just saw why they do it. You know, when they want to run the option, he can get to that second level. They've got 2 tackles. Your bookends. These are supposed to be the 315-pound guys. At Kennesaw State, they weigh 235 and 225. Very active, though, so guys like that, they do a great job with low leverage.
Quick dive handoff to Bronson Recksteiner. And Recksteiner up ahead for a few all runs, though, Jay, as we expected.
That's what they do, but let's go back to that. You can't downplay that. Those bookends weighing 225 and 236. Most college quarterbacks are 6'3", 230, bigger than the offensive tackles for Kennesaw State, but yet they still run the ball effectively. That lets you know it's technique, heart, and determination to get the job done for them.
Burks being rushed out of the pocket, and he's hit from behind, brought down. Nowhere to go as he was looking to throw it. Chris McKeldry in on the stop.
A little bit short here, and this is the difference. Realizes he needs to pick up first down yardage, becomes a running back, cuts it up, and comes up just a yard short.
The Owls now in the Golden Eagles territory as Kennesaw State with a red zone opportunity here. Burks is rolled down. Shannon Fain on the stop.
No, sir.
So a turnover of downs as the defense for Tennessee Tech coming through. Holla at your boy. Alexander is all about Tennessee Tech as his Golden Eagles on top 3-0. Alexander graduated from the university back in '89 after playing football with the Golden Eagles. And then, look, this is his 4th stint with the program as he took over as acting head coach a couple years ago, and now he is the lead man. But, Jay, do you like the call that he made going down for 4th down in his own territory on the first drive.
Set the tone. You guys want to keep losing and get another coach fired or not? So he said, I'm going to come out here. We're going to get 4th and 1. We're going to pick it up. And by him doing so, he set the tone where it kind of took Kennesaw State out of their comfort zone. They went for it on 4th and 1 as well, and they could not convert, whereas Tennessee Tech was able to convert. One thing I like about Alexander, though, and you mentioned it there, he's got school pride. He's a Tennessee Tech guy through and through. You know, I asked him the question, well, why would somebody be interested in coming to Tennessee Tech? He almost looked at me like I was crazy, like, why wouldn't they come to Tennessee Tech? Don't you know everything that we have? We're in between Nashville and Knoxville and everything else, so he loves his alma mater.
Well, Dabo Swinney and number 2 Clemson face off in a tough non-conference road test against Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M. That's in College Station, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, and live on the ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere. How about that, Dabo versus Jimbo? We're talking head coaches, and certainly a new era in College Station as Devin Sullivan being helped to the sideline. But look, when they go head-to-head, they were very familiar, of course, in the ACC. 4 wins apiece.
Yeah, the question, how is Clemson going to handle the 12th man? When you go to Texas A&M, you're not just playing the 11 down on the field. 12th man, they're excited about their program. That's going to be a good one.
Our field is no joke. They will be rocking from College Station. Fisher, the handoff to Goldsmith, and Goldsmith is bottled up. Goldsmith, a junior out of Jackson, Tennessee, leading rusher from last season. Now 3rd and 8. Finds his man cutting across the middle. That's Josh Cunningham, and Cunningham is just tripped up short of the first down marker.
And so far in the passing game, they're simplifying the passing game for Bailey Fisher. Simple crossing route with the wide receiver in front of him. We saw him complete a deep fade, so nothing really complicated right now for Bailey Fisher offensively.
You see his numbers from last year as he lined up in the secondary, 53 tackles. And this time around, Tennessee Tech not going for it. As they bring on their punting unit, Luke Maynard. And back to receive is Shaquille Terry. Terry lets it bounce, picks it up, and is almost brought down. There he is. Great play by special teams, Seth Hooner. 45-yard punt, -3 on the return as the Owls. Golden Eagle Marching Band on hand, and they're braving the rain. So are some of the fans here in Tucker Stadium as raindrops continuing to fall. We had an hour weather delay to start this game. And Kennesaw State on their 2nd offensive possession, turnover on downs. Their first one. Hand off to Terry, and Terry is popped outside of bounds. Shannon Fain once again on the stop.
And Fain, that's where you have to realize who's calling the game. Very fortunate he wasn't called for a late hit. We saw one called earlier on one that was closer. In this type of condition, don't hit guys on the sideline when they're well into the white.
7-yard pickup, so that's brings up 2nd and 3. Burks taking his time as the clock winding down. The handoff to Jake McKenzie. He picks up some tough yards. Shannon Fain in on the tackle once more. How important is this drive for Kennesaw State to answer, Jay?
Anytime you're an option team, you run first, so you can't afford to fall more than 1 score behind. They're not built that way. They're not designed to throw the football. So I think this is a crucial drive, considering they want to be able to match or to play with the lead. They become much more effective than in that trail position.
Trey Shivers. Shivers is met very quickly on the outside by Dami Adekunjo.
Good sound team football by Tennessee Tech, stretching that option all the way, the jet sweep all the way to the cornerback, and you saw Adekunjo come up and make a nice tackle. But I would tell you, watching this Kennesaw State offense, they're so in sync. They're in unison. You can tell the footwork is there. They've always got white jerseys on purple jerseys, so there's always a crack of daylight. Even a great play like the last one we saw from Tennessee Tech still was 3-yard pickup for Kennesaw State.
This is Burke's first pass attempt of the night, and kind of some confusion there as two receivers were in the area.
This is where they look like an option running back trying to pass the football. You got two guys right in the line, and both of them missed it. Coach says, one of y'all come down with the ball. They both saw the same soft spot in the coverage and didn't realize there was two receivers in one area.
The pitch out, and good yardage picked up there on 3rd and 7. So that will move the sticks as Isaac Foster moves it ahead.
Anytime you're going to see great downfield runs, look at the wide receivers downfield. Take a look right side of your screen. Have a seat, son. I thought it was a wide receiver. That's that small defensive end, Ryan Boyer, getting down the field with the chop block. Good job by Kennesaw State blocking on the perimeter.
Perimeter blocking sets up first down from the 41-yard line. The handoff to McKenzie. Once again, we call number 14 in purple, Shannon Fain, in on the stop.
He's going to be busy at strong safety, but now you're starting to see Kennesaw State get the inside run. So what do we talk about stopping the option? It's inside out. Now they're having success running the ball on the inside.
Just over 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. And Burks with the pitch to Shivers. Shivers went inside just a little bit.
I saw some pancake blocks out there. Did you see big number 75, Nick Eldridge, the guard for Kennesaw State? Talk about moving in unison. You'll see 75 right there. Watch him. 46, finish off the block. Take him down to the ground. Good effort, efficient running attack, first down, Owls. We call him Big Nick because he's a big lineman there, 6'2", 288 pounds. That's more like a normal size offensive guard in college football.
Powerhouse Hoover High School in Alabama. Shaquille Terry, nice cutbacks, and once again, a red zone opportunity here for the Owls.
They're just putting on a blocking clinic. Watch number 33, Darnell Holland, right side of your screen. You know they're going to cut you below. Bang! Takes 14, Fain, who's made a lot of tackles, completely out of the play. And you know it's coming, but that's just efficient blocking by the slot back, Darnell Holland.
Quick handoff to Terry. Terry once more, but this time nowhere to go. So the last time the Owls make their trip down here, they had a turnover on downs. Now they'll look to put some points on the board as they are continuing to move. 2nd and 8. And you see, we talked about, look, they were a terrific rushing team last year. This is what they do. They're a triple option team, so it's predicated on the run. 15 rushes to just 1 pass. Is that the ratio?
Almost 100 yards rushing in the first quarter. That's why they lead the nation.
This time it's TJ Reed, and so we've seen seven different backs touch the ball.
And they're all picking up yards. How many times have we seen a loss of yards and loss of yards on a play in this game? They haven't done it yet, so they've been very efficient in doing it. I think that line up front is working in unison. You know what I noticed? You can tell an option team is really playing well. The opposing defense, they're guarding their legs. They feel like little gnats are always biting at their ankles. You see a bunch of people trying to shield the guys off of their legs.
This is an area where they excelled last year. Great on 3rd down conversions. 2nd in FCS, and here they pick up the first down thanks to Isaac Foster. It's 1st and goal.
And that was just a speed sweep to the outside. And right now you're starting to see couple limps in the steps of the Tennessee Tech guys. And if Kennesaw State keeps playing like this, they're going to have a hard time getting more non-conference games. You don't like scheduling offenses that are going after your legs as much as this Owl team does.
They're trying to push the pile ahead, but push back this Tennessee Tech defense. So time winding down here in this first quarter. On this drive, the Owls have been impressive. 5 first downs. The best in the nation in doing that a season ago. 2nd and goal. Burks decides to hold on to it himself, and it's a touchdown. Big push up front from Jake McKenzie, clears the way for Chandler Burks, and it's a score.
Nice decision, good offensive efficiency. You fake the dive, and then you go in right behind him. That was a planned play all along. You could tell McKenzie knew he was not going to get the football. He went there as a lead blocker, cleared enough space for Burks to get to the end zone.
Justin Thompson on to attempt the extra point. And it's 7-3 Kennesaw State with 6 seconds to go in the first quarter.
This is just nice execution. Take a look at number 4. He knows he's not getting the football. Instead, he meets the safety in the hole for the tackle to take him out of the equation and allow his quarterbacks, the leader of the OGs, Chandler Burks, to score.
Well, folks, you can stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus, so start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. Talking about the OGs, Chandler Burks, you mentioned one of them. 20 in total for Brian Bohannon, and that's a group who certainly came on. They were part of the first recruiting class. Chandler Burks was actually the first verbal commitment to Kennesaw State, and when they came on, they said, look, we believe in what you're building here. We want to be a part of something special.
And they're on their way, but how about the mental toughness it takes to go through 78 practices without a game, knowing you're not going to play anybody? So they just practice all the time, and lo and behold, when they got to put the pads on for real, they made it count, winning ever since they started playing football down there in Kennesaw, Georgia.
And that last drive for the Owls, 13 plays for 70 yards. They ate up just under 6 minutes, but they had 12 runs, Jay.
Yeah, are you surprised?
No, not at all.
It's raining. Yeah. It's an option team. It's raining. It's not going to be last week where Burks threw the ball 19 times. They're going back to Kennesaw State football. He'll probably have 8 to 10 pass attempts at the most if everything goes as planned.
Fisher just had it bounce out of his hands. Goldsmith couldn't bring it in.
And the tough part about that, when you know you've got a freshman and Bailey Fisher playing quarterback, you need your seniors to step up, help them out. That was an accurately thrown ball on first down that was dropped. What were their struggles last week? First down playing behind the chains.
No gain. First down, so 2nd and 10. Fisher decides to keep it himself, and that will bring the first quarter to an end. So Tennessee Tech, we saw them march down the field, kick a field goal, but Kennesaw State answering back, scoring late in the quarter, and they're up 7-3 on the road. Well, there is a fondness with the familiar here at Tennessee Tech, and certainly when you look on the sideline for the Golden Eagles, you'll see several faces that are familiar to Cookeville. Up in the box, though, a guy by the name of Trey Lamb, who was a quarterback here, helped to lead the Golden Eagles to their last Ohio Valley Conference championship back in 2011. He is the offensive coordinator, and he's helping to train up another young guy in the name of Bailey Fisher, who plows ahead for about 4.
defense again, playing from behind the chains and just nobody open in that situation. And I really do believe when you start a freshman quarterback, I don't care how good he is physically, the rest of the pieces around him, they have to step up their game. O-line has to block a little bit longer. Receivers have to separate a little bit more from the cornerback. I'm not seeing that so far here tonight from Tennessee Tech.
Maynard on the punt. Isaac Baxter with the fair catch near the 31-yard line. Kick off your Week 1 NFL Sunday with ESPN at 10 a.m. Eastern, our Sunday NFL Countdown crew. We're talking Randy Moss, Matt Hasselbeck, Rex Ryan, Charles Woodson, Shefty, and Samantha Ponder. We'll have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and preview each game right up to kickoff. And like everything else, it's live on the ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere. Who's your team, Jay?
Once you've been paid to play,
you can't say.
I'm not a fan of no team. I pull for friends in certain offenses, but can't say that I've got a team. I think that's kind of like the way it goes across. Most pro athletes get that way.
Season kicks off for the NFL tonight. Falcons, Eagles, and Brian Bohannon has to waste a timeout here.
Yeah, he's hot. After a change of possession, having to call a timeout, what were you thinking about? But just like earlier in this game, we thought it was important that the Kennesaw State defense make a stand. But right now, it's on Tennessee Tech. Early in this game, you can't allow Kennesaw to come with one of these long, methodical drives.
There is no
eating
foul,
up clock
and there is no
and
timeout.
expanding their lead
Ready for play was not
to
won.
more than the 4 points or getting into double digits.
How do the Golden Eagles stop the triple option?
Well, they've got to figure it out. I think do the inside-out approach, but I think they're having trouble with the pulling the speed of the small tackles, that second level. They're getting up to the second level, getting legs on linebackers, which is really disrupting them. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Are they playing bowling out there? They're doing football. It's so impressive. The guys are going down at the exact same time. So to do a sweep is hard, but watch how these guys pull, and they chop their guys at the exact same time. Defenders down. You can see purple bodies on the ground. It's easy to run the football when you guys are getting guys to the ground like that.
6-yard gain for Holland.
This is where you tell your defense, stay off the ground. You guys are on the ground too much. Tackle. They're just getting chop blocked, and they act like they don't see the blockers coming. You saw the scouting report. You know this is what they do. You have to stay upright.
Burks backwards and now forward. And then on the stop, Jake Ward. But, Jay, when you're looking at these blockers, look, Grant Chestnut, the offensive coordinator, says this is an O-line by committee, but one thing that he could hang his hat on was the fact that you're going to block well.
You're going to block well. Well, you have to go back to the 80s and what kind of killed the wishbone. It was fast defensive ends and linebackers that can run. So right now, we're not seeing the speed at the linebacker position from Tennessee Tech. They're always on the ground, so they're not matching the speed that it takes to overcome an effective option attack.
Jay Reed on the backs, and he's tripped up once more by Shannon Fain. Good look there at Grant Chestnut, who was an offensive lineman at Georgia Southern. Talking about that triple option, that's one of the places where they ran it, made it to the national championship back in 1998. The staff, of course, very familiar with the triple option, as head coach Brian Bohannon has been under Old Johnson at a few different stops, Navy, Georgia Tech. And once more, here's TJ Reed. The ball pops loose, but he was ruled down, so that brings up third down.
But that's too much yardage they gave away. It's 2nd and 9. You held them to 1 yard on the previous play. Then you let them come out and pick up 6 yards. Oh, that ball might have been moving as he was going towards the turf.
With his elbow down.
Close. I thought I saw some movement before that elbow hit.
Holland once more helping the Owls to convert on third down.
Here's what you can't do in short yardage situations if you're playing cornerback. It's an option team. You know it's coming. All week you've been prepping for it. you can't run from the contact. You have to go and engage. Take a look at the cornerback. Number one, let's take a look here at Adekanjo. He's got it right here. You're outside contained. Nothing gets outside of you. Watch him. Let the legs go. Let the blocker get him. Give the running back options whether to go inside or outside. And force that end man on the line of scrimmage and make him cut sooner rather than just opening up the rest of the field to him, giving him another running lane.
When we talked with the coaches this week, one of the things that they felt like they prepared for in Tennessee Tech was trying to practice some of that triple option, introducing it to their guys during the summer so that, because of course you mentioned it, Jay, you don't see this every week in college football.
You don't. Just ask Navy, ask Georgia Tech opponents, all them, you can see it coming all day, but it's just tough to actually see it on a regular basis and to prepare for it. And right now, it looks like Tennessee Tech hasn't made the adjustments just yet.
Burke pitches it over to Shaquille Terry. Terry slips through a couple of defenders up the right sideline, and he's pushed out by Deontay Wilson.
You tell me, Tiff, I'm a football guy, so I know football. You're watching this. Does it seem like Tennessee Tech has any clue how they're going to stop this option?
No.
I mean, their runners getting down to the second level every single play. The linemen for Kennesaw State are having fun, shifting guys. Wide receivers and slot backs are having fun, cutting guys. Running backs are having fun, running wherever they want to. 8 different ball carriers.
They've combined for more rushing yards tonight than Tennessee Tech's total offense. And right here, Trey Shivers with an opportunity to get into the end zone, and he's in! A 27-yard touchdown run for Shivers. And it goes back to blocking, Jay. Once more, great blocking ahead. The receivers helping out Justin Sumter that time.
And once you know that you're going to get involved in the second-level perimeter game, look at this pitch. I mean, he's got a slot back for a block, and then you'll see Sumter do a good job of holding his guy at the end, verse number 1. Team offense working in unity, and that says a lot for Justin Sumter, the wide receiver. He's their most athletic player, but for him to get involved in the running game lets you know that this Kennesaw State team, they get it done on the inside, they get it done on the outside. For those of y'all people in America just seeing them for the first time, I think it's safe to say they're the real deal.
Back here, Kennesaw State has put up 14 unanswered points on Tennessee Tech to take the lead here. And you talk about Kennesaw State liking to run the ball. That's an understatement here. 27-1.
I mean, can I make a bigger comparison there? I mean, that's the 0 on top of the 0. So they're coming out saying, we're not going to throw the football. We don't need to throw the football against you guys. Statement.
Program just in its 4th year of existence. And Andrew Goldsmith picks it up down near the 20-yard line, and that's where the Golden Eagles will get started. So after that first drive where Tennessee Tech came out to 41-yard field goal, possessed the ball for about 4 minutes, they only had it under a minute in that last possession. What do they have to do different?
They need to get a nice drive down the field. It's key, still first down. They have to get better yardage on first down than they've been getting.
Fisher taking a shot here at his man, an opportunity. Darius Stafford couldn't come away with it. Well, the coverage was Levante Larry, but a penalty flag in the Golden Eagles backfield.
One of those 50-50 balls, and accurately thrown enough ball where Stafford might have been able to come down with it, but good defense by the Owl secondary.
Mr. Whitehead, the referee for tonight. Let's listen in on the call.
Holding, number 50 of the offense. That penalty is declined. Second down.
Ooh, turn down a holding. Is that confidence in your defense? A holding penalty, which would have been at least 10 yards from the spot of it. So it would have been at least 1st and 20 plus. They elect to take the 2nd and 10, banking that they can get a 3 and out.
They're also going to make the freshman Bailey Fisher try to beat him.
step up. I mean, Melvin Howell, he had a nice catch earlier on a perfectly thrown ball. That's a catchable pass. This is a nicely thrown ball by Bailey Fisher. Leads him inside, catch the ball. I know it's a little slippery and wet out there, but you're a wide receiver. Hold on to the football, help out your young freshman quarterback.
Fisher, who started 4 for 4 in this game, is now 0 for 3. All of them drops this time. The Minnesota transfer collects it and gets the first down. So that's a way to move the sticks for the Golden Eagles. 19-yard gain.
Now they're able to try and get a little tempo. Let's see how quickly they can get this ball snapped and maybe see if they can build some momentum.
Quickly, once more, number 5 in purple, Holland. It's time for a short gain.
Take a look at this third down play here. Fisher buying some time, stepping up in the pocket, allows Holland to come out of his break, throws a strike, and picks up a first down for the Eagles that they desperately needed.
Golden Eagles pushing the issue just a little bit. Goldsmith. It gets through up to the left side. And he's pushed down by Jace White, but what a big pickup there for the Golden Eagles. Compliments of Andrew Goldsmith.
Wow, and a missed opportunity to tackle for a loss behind the line of scrimmage. That doesn't happen often. Bryson Armstrong, the most consistent leader on this team for Kennesaw State, missed an opportunity for a tackle for a loss. Good job by Goldsmith making him pay for it.
False start. Number 57, offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Take a look. You'll see him come across there and watch it. Great recognition by Armstrong. He recognized it, just not able to hold on. And a good job by Goldsmith with the leg strength to power through, pick up a huge play.
Fisher with some pressure in his face, and it looked like Kinsey Billingsley may have gotten a hand on that one. The senior out of Powder Springs, Georgia.
Good recognition by Billingsley. Blue-collar guy, lunch pail, comes to work every day, and we have a good defense. You give me some good D tackles that come to work every day, that could be a pretty good defensive unit.
Rolls out to his left. He's pushed down by Anthony Gore. For this Owls defense, they've got 6 new starters on that side of the ball, really inexperienced, especially in that secondary. But one thing that defensive coordinator Brian Newberry told us, it felt like they had better team speed all around this year.
More athletic than a season ago. Said we got some athletes, but they're all new, so they blew some assignments, got exposed a little bit last week.
The pressure was coming. Lunar catches it, but a short gain on third down. And so the kicking unit will come out. Nick Madonia. He had a 41-yard field goal in the first quarter. This one from 47 out. He's got the leg to do it. And snap, tough hold. And that one is no good. So a missed opportunity for Tennessee Tech as Kennesaw State takes over. Back here at Tucker Stadium, the Golden Eagles had an opportunity to put 3 more on the board, but a bobbled snap changed things.
You see Seth Lunar gets the ball inside. It's a nice snap, but he drops it, throws off the timing. We know that Madonia has plenty of leg, but the timing was off, forced him to push it to the right.
It's Terry being held east and west, so good stop there from the Golden Eagles defense. In on the tackle, Andrew Swicegood.
And that's what you have to do. That was a team pursuit to the football. So they actually stopped the run on the inside, then pushed it outside, had enough team speed to capture from behind and make a tackle for a loss on first down. That's a good start for this defense on this series. Look out.
Pitch right there and just spun off Darnell Holland, but there's a penalty flag on the field.
I mean, but Tiff, when I say these running lanes are huge, they are huge.
So you're thinking the backs have big eyes when they run it
When
through.
they get the pitch, yes. Give it to me.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Number 9 of the offense. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
And let's take a look if we can see Shaquille Terry. He's the lead block. Oh, he cuts back inside. He didn't even need to make that block right there. That was the block. He did not even have to make it. The runner was already outside. You cannot block going back towards the line of scrimmage. Great job of calling it by the officials. And I'm going to call that a mental error by Shaquille Terry because he didn't need to make that block.
Oddly enough, Jay, that was the first penalty of the night. With 7 minutes to go in the second quarter.
They just jinxed us now with the flags.
Moving up ahead is Jake McKenzie, senior out of Monroeville, Alabama. A lot of blue-collar guys on this team. He's one of them.
This is where, if I'm the defensive coordinator, I tell my defense, let's be opportunistic in this situation. A running team that runs the option in an obvious passing situation, you peek at the draw, but if that ball leaves the quarterback's hand, you try and intercept the ball. Let's try and jumpstart this offense and win this battle of field position and see if we can come up with a turnover.
3rd and 17. Remember, Jay, Chandler Burks has only attempted 1 pass tonight. Here, they elect to hand it off. Stick to what you know. So good hold there by the Golden Eagles defense. Josh Poplar in on the stop.
They got the stop. They got the assist from the official with the flag there on the chop block. And now you got to think when your offense hasn't quite kick-started yet, you want your defense to make a stop. They did that. Can the special teams help you out as well? Try and cut into this lead before the half.
Josh Cunningham back to receive it. Nicholas Jones on the punt. And Cunningham is met immediately. Nowhere to go. As Levante Larry in on the stop. So a chance for Tennessee Tech to try to get things moving. You come back.
And college football, brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. And Mountain Dew, do the do.
False start. 57.
We had an
offense.
hour rain
5-yard
delay
penalty.
before we got
First
things
down.
kicked off here from Cookeville, Kennesaw State. Feeling good. A little rain never hurt anybody, and certainly the fans braving that weather, and hopefully it's moved past. Clear skies as of now. As Tennessee Tech gets it going.
False start. 57. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
What'd you say,
First
Tiffany,
down.
earlier before the break? You said there's only been 1 penalty this game, and I told you were going to jinx us, right? Come out of break. Thank you, Tiffany Green.
Well, I just wanted to point out the fact that this has been a pretty clean game. It's been well played thus far, and you know, now I have to open my mouth, and I'm going to eat crow now. So Bailey Fisher trying to go up top, finds his man, Josh Cunningham, pulls it in.
One of those 50-50 balls that you see so often now in the college football landscape. Throws it up there and allows the former quarterback, Josh Cunningham, to come down with it. The big completion.
Jack trying to move again. Fisher under some pressure, just throws it out of bounds.
Go back, take a look at this catch. Is there a little bit of push there? Nah, they're slipping and sliding. They let them play a little bit. You know, Talked about Cunningham being a former cornerback. You know, he knows how to get away with a little bit of push. You know, the same things make you laugh, make you cry.
We saw some of that speed downfield, but he's also going to beat you with effort, coaches say. They've got to find a way to get him the ball more. Oh, right there. Oh, great anticipation by Sincere Mason. Oh, he had it. A pick six in his hands, and the true freshman just drops it.
Oh, they said it could be good. He could have been a Sports Center moment right here. He read the bubble screen, was in position to make the tackle, didn't realize I can get an interception, and oh, missed. Oh, hit him right between the 2 and the 0s. Come on, Sincere. You've got to be more sincere when you go in there to make that pick six, baby.
No flag on that play. And once more lofted up by Fisher through the hands of Mason, but certainly it looked like on that play there was some confusion at the snap.
Well, that could have been another opportunity for an interception by Sincere Mason. It's like Bailey Fisher's trying to give it to you.
So 3 straight incompletions by this Tech offense. That brings on the punting unit. Now 4th and 10. So not the offensive possession Dwayne Alexander wanted to see from this team. A quick 3 and out. And Terry, with 2 purple jerseys coming his way, finds a way to avoid them and is brought down. A David Guest 40-yard punt, 9-yard return, and the Owls offensive attack coming at it. Dabo Sweeney and number 2 Clemson face off in a non-conference road test against Jimbo Fisher in Texas A&M, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, and live on the ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere. The ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Hampton by Hilton. So we see the Jimbo Fisher era underway.
In a meaningful game.
And a very meaningful game. A big road test there. And the Aggies have to try to find a way to pull off the upset. Many have Clemson winning that one, as the Owls have been really on cruise control after giving up those first 3 points to Tennessee Tech. They've scored 14 unanswered points, 21 straight runs. Yeah, they like to keep it on the ground.
They keep it on the ground. They've been moving the ball pretty effectively all game, except for that last possession they had, which was negated by the penalty, put them behind the 8 ball. But you're just tuning in. This is a rushing attack that's been having their way with this Tennessee Tech defense so far in this contest.
Nearly 200 yards on the ground, and here's Chandler Burks keeping it himself. How about the QB? Doing it on his own. Look, he had 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards passing beyond that last season.
And it's all about decision making. Take a look. They're focusing on the pitch man, number 4, put him in no man's land. Makes one move and a cut, and then you see Shannon Fain has to come up. The free safety for Tennessee Tech. He's probably already in double digits for tackles in this game, and that's not a good sign. You don't want your free safety making that many tackles versus an option attack.
Burks on the bench, squeezing that short side. We're seeing an offensive attack that's really a throwback, Jay, in college football or in football in general. The triple option, you don't see it run very often. Paul Johnson does it at Georgia Tech. He also instituted it at Georgia Southern, Navy, Army, the academies, also Air Force on the triple option as well.
And I think when Brian Bohannon was named the head coach at Kennesaw State, there was no doubt what offense he was going to run. I mean, the folks at Georgia Southern, where Paul Johnson was, and Bohannon coached there as well, they love the option. They know what it can do for it. Tell you what, on the FCS level, it's going to be tough to beat. Got him.
Well, the rare passes tonight. Burks heaves it up and left it up in the air for a long time, and Justin Sumter somehow comes up with that one.
I'm going to say this. Horrible throw. Right? Horrible throw. That should be a touchdown by 10 yards, but You sacrifice something with the option attack in terms of the accuracy of the throw, but great job by Justin Sumter. Watch him just sit here and wait on this ball. He's got him beat by 7 yards, and the ball floated, and he was just able to concentrate enough to hold on for the big catch.
First completion of the night. It's for 41 yards to Justin Sumter, the senior out of Tyrone, Georgia. It was Burke's favorite target a season ago, and here tonight he connects once more.
And they really like Justin Sumter. I mean, they call him a dynamic player. He can do everything. We called his name earlier with fantastic blocking in the running game. He can go up for the 50-50 balls. He's got good speed. Yes, how fast is he? And they say, we don't know, but he's fast enough. And they say every time an NFL scout comes down to take a look at him, they walk away even more impressed. 6'3", 215 pounds. Got a nice frame and a nice average per catch.
95 yards receiving last week and a touchdown in that losing effort against Georgia State. Well, folks, you want to stick around because coming up at halftime, who is the Oregon QB? Justin Herbert, plus who's in with Adnan, Joey, and Jesse. And you'll want to stick around, especially for this one. Gimme 5, a special edition with option quarterbacks in college football.
I'm putting it on the line. I'm going to give you the 5 greatest option quarterbacks in the history of college football.
Timeout.
According to Jay Walker.
I mean, if I say it, it's got to be true, right?
And Tim Collins, one of the leaders for this defensive unit down for Tennessee Tech. Tim Collins, the senior out of Birmingham, Alabama. 2 sacks last week.
Take a look and see number 8 right there. He's in on the tackle. That left leg just got kind of stuck underneath him as he was going to the ground.
So the trainers are looking at his left leg, Tim Collins. Tallest player on this defense, 6'5", 250 pounds, and at least now in the upright position.
Be interesting to see how much pressure he can apply to it as he makes the walk to the sideline. And pretty good sign he's able to have somewhat of a limp, but may be able to turn this contest. They'll need him, the senior leadership. They're going to have a chance of slowing down this option attack. Now, after the big catch that we saw from Sumter, we saw Kennesaw State run 2 boring plays, 2 fullback dives, right? 2 boring fullback dives, but it's still 3rd and 3. That is option wishbone football right there. Boring plays, but move the pile, pick up yards.
The Owls 3 for 5 on 3rd downs tonight. Once more, they go for the dive again with Jake McKenzie, but I think he's going to be short.
Good stop.
Good stop there as a Derek Moore in on the tackle.
Timeout.
This will be an interesting
Kennesaw
decision.
State.
What do you choose to do here? This game started off their first possession, 4th and 1. They came up short. I know you want to ask me what would I do. I asked you what do you do. You're watching an option team for one of the first times. What do you think?
I'm going to go for it.
You're going to go for it?
I feel confident that I've been able to pick up the yardage, and you've eaten away at that 10-yard marker. So 3, and 1. You're 4th and 1. You have an opportunity to do it. Ryan Bohannon, I believe, believes in his guys as well. We'll see what he'll do when you look at his coaching timeline and where he's been. We talked about his time under Paul Johnson at Georgia Southern Navy and Georgia Tech before taking over this program. Remember, it was 2013 when they approved the football program, but they didn't play their first game till the 2015 season.
And I think doing a good job, and I'm pretty sure Coach Johnson says you hired the right guy for the job. Big 4th down coming up for Tennessee Tech. Can they get a stop?
And the speed on the outside for Terry. And he picks up the first down. Man, did he get to that sideline quickly.
And he had just enough speed. That was probably the best defense I've seen played by Tennessee Tech tonight. They covered all their options there. The dive was covered, the jet sweep, and it became a foot race down the line. And thing just half a step too slow for the speedy Terry to prevent him from getting the first down. That was good football on both sides.
Brings up 1st and goal, 9th play of this drive. Burks keeps it himself. Andrew Swicegood brings him down.
And now you got to take a peek at the clock. You've got about a minute coming up now, so the play clock there, they're not quite in a rush, but you want to have a little sense of urgency. Get to the line of scrimmage. I wouldn't waste too much time getting this play called.
And Burks taking his time. Decides to hold on to it himself once more, and he's in. The 5-yard scamper for the reigning Big South Offensive Player of the Year. So the 3-year starter helping Kennesaw State reel off points here tonight.
Good job calling his own number, gets a crease and makes it happen, finds the end zone, and pretty efficient night at the office for Chandler Burks. And I've really been impressed with his decision making all evening long, making the right decision with the football.
That caps off a 10-play, 82-yard drive, and Chandler Burks picks up his 2nd touchdown of the season. A guy who they feel like has that it factor.
Let me teach you about option football, all right? You're going to option somebody. They're going to option in man on the line of scrimmage. So basically what they're saying, he can't be right. If you go for the run, then we're going to keep it. If you go for the pitch, we're going to get you in man line of scrimmage. You paid attention to the running back too much more. Burks calls his own number. That's where you get the option from. You have an option, either pitch it or keep it. He made a good decision in the option.
And Jay, we've seen a lot of read option in college football. What's the difference between that and this triple option?
Read option is more that they're using shotgun formation, so they're showing it more, and you don't have to make as quick a decision. So the read option, you let the defensive end come upfield a little bit more, whereas with the straight option, they're running the dive option, you're going to option him right on the line of scrimmage. You're not looking to see if he comes upfield or goes sideways. You take your choice and make him do something.
Goldsmith had trouble handling that one, and he got nowhere. This Cole Loden, the true freshman out of Kingsland, Georgia, in on the stop. And for this Owls defense, they've been able to hold Tennessee Tech, to just 3 points tonight, as the Golden Eagles still searching for their first offensive touchdown of the season. And Goldsmith with the carry. A good pickup on 1st down. That will stop the clock momentarily, move the chains. Tennessee Tech will get started again.
Trying to go some up-tempo, and I think in the second half, what you have to see from Tennessee Tech, we've seen some soft spots in the pass secondary. So although they want to run the ball first, you're down by 18 points. I think they're going to have to come out and throw the football a lot more in the second half.
Put it in the hands of their true freshman quarterback, Bailey Fisher. So Tech received the ball to start the game. It'll be the Owls who start on offense when we come back, as Kennesaw State trotting into the locker room. A 21-3 advantage on the road. This one started with the weather delay. Certainly it's picked up as Kennesaw State is in a groove. They have the lead at half.
This halftime report is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first and only hybrid minivan.
Kennesaw State on top 21-3 at the half over Tennessee Tech back here in Cookeville. And it's time for none other than Jay's Give Me 5. You like that? Just the hold right there. We're talking option quarterback.
You got to hold that pose there. Obviously, you know, I wouldn't have been liked in this game too much because Kennesaw State, but I can move outside the pocket, create some things, make it happen. But I kept the accuracy and the swag. But how about this? Top 5 option quarterbacks of all time. All time. I'm going with the wishbone wizard, Jamel Holloway, at number 5 from Oklahoma. As a true freshman, led them to a national title running that wishbone. They forgot about Troy Aikman pretty quick down there in Norman, Oklahoma. Number 4, championship theme, let's keep it going. Tony Rice, ND fans, Fighting Irish, prop from South Carolina, Lou Holtz recruit, turn it around, legendary, won the national championship. T. Rice, he can tote that thing running the option. 3, how about a little new school for you, Tiff? A little new school. People think the option was only something of the 80s, early 90s. Well, how about recently? Keenan Reynolds. And what did Keenan Reynolds do running the option? What's the stat you told me he was?
Oh, yeah, he was the NCAA leader in touchdowns for a quarterback with 88.
So he could really do it. He could dish it doing it. I give credit to that. I didn't know that fact. I just know out of the newcomers, he was good. But when you're talking option, you still got to go back. We're going back to the old school with the wishbone. And here's one many people may not know about, Tracy Ham. Now, he was so good, they called his version of the option not the wishbone, but it was called the ham bone. Won 2 national championships at Georgia Southern. He was the one that got it started all there. Also a member of the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame. And number 1, I like winners. Tommy Frazier. The kid from Florida went out to the Cornhusker State and did his thing. 33-3 all-time record. Won a national title. Oh, yeah, Tommy Frazier proved you could win running that wishbone. In my opinion, the greatest to ever do it there. And, you know, we got to have somebody on the bubble. Didn't quite make the cut. How about Darian Hagan, L.A. kid, Colorado, he did it all. And one thing to note, out of all those guys, all of them win a national championship except for one. You can win a national championship running that wishbone. These guys did it.
This halftime report is brought to you by Mountain Dew. Do the do.
Back here at Tucker Stadium, Dwayne Alexander, the head coach for Tennessee Tech, on the other sideline, Brian Bohannon, and he certainly liked what he's seen from his team as they've picked up 224 yards on the ground. The Golden Eagles won the toss. They elected to receive in that first half, so Adar Zaden is set to kick it away. This one deep into the end zone for a touchback. And Shaquille Terry was one of those backs for the Owls, and look, they were running all over the place.
I mean, consistent theme. They kept getting on the perimeter, and they were just like, it was like a song. Just cut it everywhere you went. Cut it. You need to cut in. You get the ball on the perimeter, you need to cut him. They would keep going outside to the right. You need to cut him. Everybody was getting cut. Tennessee Tech defenders have to stay upright. Can't make a tackle when you're laying on the ground getting cut.
I like that. J.E. Walker's mixtape.
It was a mix. It was a little bit of LL Cool J, Cut Creator Go. First, you know, you need to cut in.
Yeah,
your generation, old school, new school.
Yeah. I like it. Darnell Holland, I like it as well. He's up the middle. Who's going to catch him? The 20, 10, touchdown! A 75-yard run for Darnell Holland.
He's been making some fantastic blocks this game. This time they give him the ball as a ball carrier, and he absolutely explodes. From his wingback position, great decision on the pitch. One cut, get upfield in a hurry. Great blocking, wide open lane, little zigzag towards the latter part of the run. Kennesaw State's playing like they're the number 7 team in the country, and they may be trying to move up the rankings with this impressive performance on the road.
A 28-3 advantage. You talk about just where they are within the FCS, one of the top 10 teams. And let's take a look at the FCS power rankings, Jay.
And this is Jay Walker's power rankings, what I think. And I think Eastern Washington, Gabe Grumard, they got a quarterback. Anytime you can throw, playing them on the Inferno up there in Cheney, Washington, they're a legitimate squad. For the Jackrabbits, South Dakota State, they're going to battle all season long. They'll be in contention. 3, the hottest team you're hearing about, North Carolina A&T, most impressive resume of anybody in FCS. Quality win over D1 as well as Jacksonville State. The Dukes, James Madison, runner-up in last year. Number 1, they're back on top. The Bison, North Dakota State. But on the bubble, look what I've got. I got Kennesaw State there on the bubble. And you got to change that up. That's South Dakota State, that's number 4. Kennesaw State is on the bubbles. And they could be making a move, but I don't know who you bump. If Eastern Washington loses this game they've got coming up versus Northern Arizona, then they'll be out. But this team right here, they're making a statement today.
Well, you look at the way they played their first FBS opponent last weekend, and Georgia State had a chance to win it there. Good showing here once again tonight, and they're building off of what we saw from last season. First FCS playoff appearance. They hosted a playoff game, made it to the quarterfinals, won the Big South. I mean, this is a program who's got something going. They got the juice right now, Jay.
What I liked about it, they lost to a Division I or FBS team. Normally you say, okay, it's supposed to. They got more scholarship. You're supposed to lose to those teams. They expected to win that game, and they were right there in that game. They should have won. And that's the type of environment they're creating down there in Kennesaw, Georgia, where week in, week out, they think they can play with anybody, and they're starting to prove. And I think last year in the FCS playoffs, it was a little bit of a shocker. They came from a smaller conference, the Big South. People didn't know how legit they were. Well, they beat 2 teams in the postseason to prove that they're one of the elite programs in the country. And right now, it seems like they're not missing a beat.
57 offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Mike Rhodes called for being offside, so that pushes Golden Eagles back. We saw them come out on their first drive, really focus in on that first down efficiency. We heard offensive coordinator Trey Lamb talk to us about this week. And then from that point on, they struggled to get anything going. What's the adjustment that they have to make? As a wonderful catch brought in by Darius Stafford. I mean, I think that was of the one-hand variety. He just kind of sucked it in like a vacuum.
Yeah, this ball gets away from Fisher a little bit, but watch him reach one hand out there, able to pull it within his body, concentrate between his legs for a fantastic concentration catch.
So Fisher now with 11 receptions tonight. This one to Alex Carling. He had 10 all last week. So Fisher, we saw some freshman mistakes from him early on and especially last week, but he's got it going tonight.
Yeah, and he just hasn't gotten any help. But this is the help we're talking about. You need individual efforts like that with great concentration by Stafford. He's going to have to throw the ball at least 30 times this half, and he's going to need some more help from his weapons.
Fisher once more looking down the sideline. It's incomplete. That brings up 3rd and 5. The intended target, Gavin Kilpatrick.
And that's where the freshman gave up on the play a little bit too soon. You throw the ball away if there's pressure, nowhere to go, but in that situation, 2nd and 5, if you can pick up 2 yards, you pick it up. I thought he got rid of the ball prematurely. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Quickly gets it out of his hands to Andrew Goldsmith.
Let's see, how many yards short is he going to be the first down?
I think it's going to be like 2 or 3 yards short.
And he could have run on that last play to pick up 2 yards to make it 3rd and 2 compared to 3rd and 5. Little nuances of the game that he'll start to get more game command, become a better field general in those type situations.
The ball is at midfield. And we saw the Golden Eagles go for it.
Absolutely.
On their first drive and down 28-3. They go for it here.
Wildcat.
Wildcat, we saw it work before.
Fake. There's the ball. Didn't fool anybody. What was that?
But not the way the Golden Eagles wanted to start their first offensive possession of the second half. Turnover on downs. Owls when we come back.
The College Football Playoff lives on ESPN.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by the all-new, totally remixed Volkswagen Jetta. And Tide, if it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide.
Well, Chandler Burks and this Kennesaw State offense was red hot in the first half. Picked up nearly 300 yards of total offense, 265 to be exact in here. Third quarter action. Roll on the play clock, and there's Chandler Burks saying, "I'll take it all by myself. I got this, y'all." Touchdown.
Two offensive plays, 2 long touchdown runs. The adjustments weren't made at halftime in the locker room. And Chandler Burks doing a great job with the decision making. Fake the dive, that's the option. Fake the pitch, too much attention going towards the running back. Nobody had the pitch man, the quarterback. He kept it. And that's just easy right there. You can't have an option quarterback going untouched up the middle of the defense. When we get a chance, I'll show you the guy that made the mistake in that one. There was just one guy that blew that play. A lot going on. And I'll show you the one guy when we come back.
Last 2 plays, 75 yards and 50 yards. Kennesaw State on top.
ESPN app. Now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now.
It's been all Kennesaw State tonight. Chandler Burks, the 3-year starter for this bunch. A 50-yard touchdown run, and you see his numbers for tonight. 11 rushes, nearly 100 yards on the ground. And look, he's the second quarterback in Big South history to eclipse that 2,000-yard mark. He could take that top spot over Gardner-Webb's Tyrell Maxwell, who graduated a season ago. Then Robertson set to kick it. Andrew Goldsmith collects it. Brings it out of his own territory, across the 20-yard line. On down just about the 23.
All right, let's take a look at this touchdown. It's assignment football, so I'm going to label these guys. You're going to have number 1 and number 2 right here. Between them, number 1 is responsible for the quarterback. Number 2 is responsible for the pitch man. Watch where 1 goes. What's his responsibility? He's going for the running back, gives up contain on the quarterback. Easy running lane. Great recognition by Burks. That's why they got gashed for such a big play, not doing their assignment.
Fisher looking across the middle, and this one is picked off. He had a couple of them go through his hands earlier. This time, Sincere Mason gets the INT. Now 16 straight games with a forced turnover, and check out the turnover plank. It's very simple, Jay. It doesn't have to be all fancy and flashy.
The turnover plank? Okay. I've seen it all, but playing quarters, Sincere's just sitting there, waiting on the inside move. This time, the true freshman holds on to the interception for the big play, and they bring out the turnover plank.
Another quarterback under center, the junior Daniel David. He's in now. Handoff to Rex Steiner. Short gain, and we talked about that turnover plank. Compare that, though, to Miami's turnover change. They made it wildly popular last season, but I like this. The chain.
The chain cost a lot compared to free. That's just
$3.99.
One of them's got gold sapphires, the other one's just wood and a marker.
Simplicity. Simplicity. Blue collar mentality. Okay. That's all.
think it's one of those things. It's like, what do you like? You know, if you like the flash and dash, you know, like them Florida boys, you know, then you know you're a Florida girl. You
I'm a
like
Florida
that
girl, so I'm
you like
going
the
to take that gold and sapphire. Yeah.
See, but if
It was like 5.5 pounds around the neck, so it lets you know, like,
yeah, but I like that. I like the country boys. You know, they do some work with a 2x4. They're going to work, and the plank is made of driftwood. So that's just some wood they found floating down a river in a lake or something like that. And whatever's working, it's like the flash of the Miami boys at the bottom or the country boys at Kennesaw, Georgia. Even though Kennesaw is right outside Atlanta.
it's about 75 pounds outside of the ATL.
Did you see that? Did you see that shake? He's got a little something with him. Now this is putting it on display here. This is Daniel David, the backup quarterback. This is the backup. Watch him give him a little wiggle, a little fake with a pitch. Oh, you don't go for it? And that's Jake Harwood, who they got before on the big play. They're not making the day easier. And Daniel David coming and showing you he's got a little wiggle with him as well.
Numbers last season, and he's really the quarterback of the future, a junior. They feel very comfortable with him taking over the reins once Chandler Burks graduates. And I think he pushes through to the end zone. So Daniel David getting into the end zone. And the scoring party continues for the Owls.
Tennessee Tech, remember when they were up 3-0? Such a long time ago, and now losing 41-3, and you're going to see David just decide to muscle it in. Block up front, lowers his shoulder. He's a little bit bigger than Chandler Burks, powers himself into the end zone to increase the lead.
Talk about the efficiency of the Owls' offense. 3 touchdowns in the last 6 plays.
And it all starts just with the block from the running back position. Another one of those cut it blocks by Trey Chivers.
Well, Dabo Swinney at number 2, Clemson to face off against Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M in a tough non-conference road matchup. It's at Kyle Field, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, and live on the ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere. Talking about the 12th man will be rocking. Dabo having success against the SEC. He's won 7 of the last 9. Meanwhile, when you look at the success that Brian Bohannon has had, he's fallen in line too. All you do is win. That's what you got to do, and that's what Dabo Swinney's done at Clemson, much like Brian Bohannon has at Kennesaw State.
Very impressive non-conference wins, because we know Clemson's in the ACC, but they're not afraid of the SEC, and that's what it takes. If SEC is going to be the premier conference in America on an annual basis, and you can't win a championship if you're in fear of those guys. You got to go through them. And Dabo's had some success. I'm just curious about what he's going to do about that quarterbacks.
Yeah, well, he did a 2-quarterback system last week with Trevor Lawrence and Kelly Bryant, and he says, look, it's not broke, so I don't need to fix anything. And he's not trying to please anybody, he said in his press conference this week.
But this game means a little bit more than the Open. So a little bit tougher competition possibly there with Dabo coming. So I think now you'll start to see stuff play out in terms of who the starting quarterbacks are going to be.
And up the middle is Andrew Goldsmith, so a good gain there on 1st down. As Bryson Armstrong in on the tackle. Remember, Armstrong won the Jerry Rice Award given to the nation's best freshman season ago. They're running quickly again. Number 23 once more with the ball. Goldsmith goes down, picked up by Levante Larry. Larry is a JUCO transfer, so he's a guy who coming in making plays in that secondary as Troy Henderson is down for Kennesaw State. Jay, when you look at this Kennesaw State team and, again, what they've been able to build there just in its 4th season of football.
Please set the play clock
Talk about
to 40 seconds.
2015 year, their debut year. They went 6-5 out of the Big South. And then 8-3 the next year. And you see the start that they got off to, 26 wins. That's the second best startup, if you will, since 2008 for a program with 26 wins.
Very impressive. And I witnessed Old Dominion firsthand in person. I mean, they did it a way where they just packed their stadium right away and had Tyler Heineken, Georgia kid, throw the football all over the place. They were impressive. Now they're FBS. Kennesaw State, right, one win behind them in that same time frame. And Texas San Antonio, they're now FBS. South Alabama is now FBS. Mercer's still FCS. But you wonder, with Kennesaw State having the enrollment they have at the institution, over 35,000 kids, growing the program down there, if they keep having this type of success, you'll wonder, and I'm just throwing it out there, we haven't heard anything from them, how long they stay FCS. If they can start building that fan base, and if you start winning and you keep winning, I think you'll possibly see them look to make that move.
Troy Henderson is helped up as he walks to the sideline. 35,000 students enrolled at Kennesaw State, and we really saw that school kind of go from a junior college to a commuter school to now a more on-campus type program.
And that's what Coach B told us. He said, hey, when you come look at our campus, you fall in love with it. They've got the facilities and everything is new. They're one of the newest schools in the state of Georgia. Everything's new. And we talked about earlier, young kids, they like that bling. But they got a lot of shiny bling at Kennesaw State University.
That play whistled dead before it got started.
False start. Number 57 offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And pushes them back. So you talked about the facilities. Here's Fifth Third Bank Stadium, holding 8,000 plus. And one of the things that Bohannon talked to us about was the fact that, look, he had to get some buy-in and build that culture for football because it wasn't theirs, because it's still so brand new.
And part of a country, I think, that is growing. You know, Georgia's owned that state for the longest. Georgia's owned it. Then you start seeing Alabama come there, recruit LSU. But we did a high school game this year. We did Grayson and Tucker, and they had some guys that were thinking about going to Kennesaw State from that loaded Grayson team as well as Tucker. So I think there's enough football talent around there to support a school like Kennesaw State. To what capacity, that'll be interesting, because Georgia State's starting to get pretty good in football too.
And just nowhere to go for the back Goldsmith. Andrew Butcher in on the tackle. Butcher, an interesting story, number 58 in white. Transferred over from Tennessee, wanted to come back closer to home, originally from Alpharetta, Georgia. He's playing in his first game in more than 2 years, as that brings up fourth down for Tennessee Tech. Luke Maynard has been busy tonight. Gets the punt off. Terry hauling for the fair catch. So a 34-yard punt for the Golden Eagles. Talked about Kennesaw State and how well they ran the ball last year. They led the FCS in that, averaging 330 a game. Here tonight, 378 against Tennessee Tech. They did the same against them last season.
How much better does that mean Kennesaw State's going to be this year? A team that held you below your average of 320, just 310 a season ago. They've got 370 something now, and it's the third quarter with plenty of time left. They're on their way to rushing for 500 yards in this game.
And Daniel David, a dangerous pitch there at the end, and they're going in the wrong direction as a huge loss. TJ Reed goes down, tackled by Sam Oldham.
And that's a play when you're the backup quarterback, you can't afford to make that play. Just eat it. You know, you got beat. Don't add more negative plays to already a negative play. And that's one there where Coach B is going to sit there and talk to him, hey, what are you doing? Run our system. When you're a backup, certain things you can get away with, and that's not one of them. You have to show you can lead the team efficiently down the field, not take a bad play and make it worse.
Lost 15 on that last play, and it looked like Joseph Alexander.
Number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Move too quickly, so they're going in the wrong direction, Jay.
How about that on that last play where David just pitched the ball to the running back? Well, the last man with the carry was the running back, so he loses 15 yards off his great day at the office because Daniel David decided to pitch it to him at the last minute. With the way they've been gashed in this defense, would not be surprised if you saw Kennesaw State running back find a crease for a big game.
David holds on to it. Chris Tucker helping to bring him down. Sophomore DN out of Jackson, Tennessee. That brings up third down. Owls deep in their own territory. Got about a mile to go. Pitch it to Isaac Foster. He won't pick up enough yardage, but when you're up 42-3, it's okay.
Just hold on to the football. Let the clock tick. At this point, Kennesaw State early realized the first string did their job, got the lead, and now they're thinking about the road trip back to Kennesaw.
So just the second punt of the night for the Owls. They've been able to win it in all phases tonight. Cunningham drops that one, fumbles it, it's still on the ground.
Wow.
Dorian Walker up to cause that fumble, and Jace White, rather Dorian Walker with the recovery here.
Don't drift. Anytime you're drifting as a punt returner, that's a bad sign. And good punt team coverage by Kennesaw State. It was a really good punt to get it going. And Dorian Walker makes the contact and also recovers the fumble.
Was touched by the receivers and recovered by the kicking team. First down, Kennesaw State.
Dorian Walker, the transfer from Georgia Tech.
That's a turnover. He gets the plank for a little while. Look, how come they're not like the Miami guys that are always smiling and showing everything off? They like get the plank and they're like, oh, man.
We don't have any fronts, Jay. No fronts. This is an offense we've seen all night that just keeps it on the ground, but this eats up a lot of clock as well when you're talking about a triple option.
And you can see why they're tough out. When you start talking about postseason football, you know, the way they control the clock and the way they're able to run the ball efficiently, seeing them in person, I can see why they were able to beat Sanford in the first round, then go ahead and knock off Jacksonville State, who was ranked number 3 in the country at the time when they beat them. So basically, they call themselves the kings of the OVC. Tennessee Tech, another OVC team. They're the third straight OVC team they've beaten.
He's brought down in the backfield by Josh Poplar. Was a second team all OVC selection in 2016. He had a great game last week, 8 tackles. For the only touchdown for the Golden Eagles last week with a 14-yard pick 6. He's a young man. He's a great story for this Golden Eagles program. Maybe once more. And is brought down quickly again by Josh Poplar. And they weren't even sure if he was going to be able to play football this season, Jay. That's because he was such a terrific player in 2016, off to a great campaign. Then last year he had to sit out because he was hospitalized. He had a stroke, and then later they found a hole in his heart, so he missed the entire year. But he came back in his first game in nearly 2 years and had 8 tackles and once more, pick 6.
and they had to limit the number of plays he played last week. But that's one of those feel-good stories where overcoming adversity, got his medical condition together, and now he's just playing for the love of the game. Playing for the love of the game. You have to love guys like that. When you're at Tennessee Tech, you're playing FCS football. It's not as if you're making NFL all the way, but he just wants to play it. Outside of that, also a fantastic student in the classroom as well.
Very bright 3.9 GPA for the marketing major. Richard Jr. out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and that 38-yard attempt is no good by Nathan Robertson. So we'll step aside quickly, come back with us here to Cookeville.
The College Football Playoff lives on
Tech's offense back on the field as it's been all Kennesaw State tonight. They put their foot on the gas and haven't let up. Andrew Goldsmith on the carry. Chance Bates in on the tackle. Well, SportsCenter tonight after the U.S. Open with John Anderson and Kenny Mayne. They'll have Falcons-Eagles reaction and analysis, plus Texas A&M, can they upset Clemson? And a look inside the U.S. Open women's final. SportsCenter tonight after tennis on ESPN and the ESPN app. How about Serena Williams advancing to the final? She'll face off either against Madison Keys or Osaka. There's the Falcons. The action with the Eagles. They have the lead in the second quarter as DJ Worthy gets the handoff. Charlie Patrick in on the tackle. I think one of those Georgia State transfers for Kennesaw State. Faced his old team last week.
Yeah, comes in and he's a starting inside linebacker. Anytime you can pick up an impact transfer, that's a good thing. In case of Charlie Patrick, comes over, becomes a starting Mike linebacker, a nationally ranked FCS football team.
Now on third down, the pass to Josh Cunningham. Cunningham picks up some yards, brought down by Bryson Perry, and so it'll be fourth down as Tech has been abysmal on third down, 1 for 10 tonight.
And Bailey Fisher, he has some swag. I see what the coaches like about him. I just think right now offensively in this football game, they just didn't have a lot of cohesion. Like they wanted to come in and run first. They couldn't establish the run, so we didn't see any bootlegs or play action from Fisher. And just early on, they just got dominated early and just been in a rut and nothing going right for them.
Well, it's also difficult, Jay, given the fact that Kennesaw State just came out swinging. They come out in that third quarter with a 75-yard touchdown run by Holland, and then you gash him for a little bit more with Chandler Burks.
Yeah, he called their number. Where was the halftime adjustment? They were struggling stopping the running game, and in the second half, they came out more miserable than they did in the first half against this rushing attack, which is have to be concerning for head coach Dwayne Alexander. This defensive unit came here and got
Number 15 for
pushed
Kennesaw
around,
State.
but
Left hand for illegal
schematically, like they didn't understand their assignments. And Kennesaw State made it look easy to rush for 383 yards, and it's not supposed to be. This is supposed to be a physical football team, round and pound, but they gashed them.
And he was very transparent with us earlier this week, talking about, you know, they're still discovering themselves, trying to find their identity. They felt like the strength of their team was on defense. But again, how difficult is it to prepare for a triple option team, something you don't see very often each week? I mean, if you think about it, how do you prepare for that, given the fact that no team in the Ohio Valley Conference is running the triple option?
And not a lot of teams in the country are doing that, but I mean, option football is option football. You know your assignment, you trust your teammate, and at this point, you just have to win your one-on-one matchups when they present themselves. And I think the disappointing part was there were some one-on-one matchups where it looked as if the purple jerseys didn't want the contact. They anticipated getting cut, and they ran around it. And that allowed this Kennesaw State offense to take advantage of it. What would have been a 2 or 3 yard game became an 8-yard game. And they never really played behind the chains. It kind of continues now.
We're seeing some new faces in for Kennesaw State. Glover. It's the dive handoff. And that will likely the final play of this third quarter. It'll be third and short when we come back, but the Owls have absolutely dominated on the ground. Kennesaw State, one of the top teams in the FCS, and they're showing why. The expectations high in Kennesaw, Georgia, as Brian Bohannon and his crew have cruised tonight 42-3 over Tennessee Tech as we start the fourth quarter. The ball came loose. And Tim Collins, who we saw go down earlier, back in the game, and he recovered the fumble for the Golden Eagles.
It seemed like a little mix-up between the quarterback and the running back. Now, running back's got two hands on it, but a good job by Collins getting a hand on that football and able to get it to Anthony Akers for that recovery. That's what you do. You show a little bit of fight. Things aren't going your way, but you're playing on TV, and see if you can maybe pull off a miracle and jumpstart this offense. Nice throw.
Right into Hunter Coleman, the junior out of Roswell, Georgia. That's good for a 20-yard gain and a first down. Jay, you're a pocket passer, obviously, so you're always eyeing the quarterback. What do you want to see from this Bailey Fisher guy?
Keep his eyes downfield a little bit more and anticipate the throw a little bit. He's been throwing the wide open guys, but I think there's been some guys that he hasn't seen them get open late. And that's been the problem. Like that last play, I mean, cover two defense, middle of the field where you want to attack. Number 9, Josh Cunningham was wide open on the skinny post route. He wasn't looking in that direction. He missed it.
Bailey Fisher, an early enrollee. Certainly helped that he was here for spring practice, and coaches feel really confident in his ability to lead this team. Hand off to DJ Worthy.
And then in Bailey's defense, I mean, as a freshman quarterback coming out of high school, one, he's doing a good job of adapting to the speed of the game, so it doesn't seem like the game is too fast for him. And when you start to become a better passer, then you start to anticipate a little bit more. But I still think 85% of what we're seeing from him is read and react football. Somebody's got to become wide open, and then he'll throw the ball. He's not anticipating the throw as well as they would like him to.
Coleman, once again, the pitch and catch to the Bowling Green transfer.
And they simplified it, simple route to the outside. See, normally you think when there are two jerseys over there, go someplace else with the football. But since it was an out route, able to get away with that throw.
Also in Fisher's defense, we saw a couple of drop balls in that first half that may have thrown him off rhythm as he's going deep, but there's a flag on the field. Pass intended for Darius Stafford.
Offsides. Defense, number 96. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Good job by Bailey recognizing their offsides. The ball was snapped while they were in the neutral zone. Take a free shot downfield.
So Tech has been inching closer and closer. They've not been in the red zone tonight. Fisher keeps it himself. And with the hit was Charlie Patrick. Again, we talked about just the stingy defense for the Owls last season, best in the Big South, keeping teams just under 16 points a game. And with 2 turnovers tonight, they extend their streak of forced turnovers, marked now to 16. Fisher right up the middle, barely touched, and Bailey Fisher good sign there as he ran the ball well last week, Jay.
He recognized where the blitz was coming from, and he just vacated where the blitz and linebacker was coming from. This ball came out towards the end of the run. Let's see if that was a fumble. Ooh, that was close. I'd hurry up and get to the line of scrimmage. Let this ball snap. It appeared the knee probably was down.
So first and goal. DJ Worthy with nowhere to go.
Let's take a look, see if this is a fumble. The knee is...
I think it's down.
It's bang, bang play.
Yeah.
Now, had they reviewed it, could have gone either way.
This is a drive they want to build on as Cunningham falls down with Bryson Perry, so the pass incomplete.
Say just a little bit of contact on the outside on that last pass attempt. Surprised the flag didn't come in, but I think the official just thought both parties were guilty.
Jay, the Golden Eagles still searching for their first offensive touchdown of the season. Fisher finds his man wide open, and Alex Carling is into the end zone. Well, there it is right there, Jay.
A little misdirection, long developing play. You see Carling, number 6 on your screen, disappear from the screen. Sell the bootleg to the right. Carling able to keep his balance just long enough to get into the end zone.
It's a longer throw there. I mean, you have to, it kind of got there just enough.
Substitution infraction, defense, 12 in formation.
So Carling, the senior out of Scranton, Pennsylvania, transferred over.
Untimed try.
From Temple. Macedonia, another senior on this group. Backs it through for the extra point.
Can't get things going, but hey, how about a touchdown for your freshman to start off his career? They're on the board.
Back here in Cookeville, and if you're just joining us, Kennesaw State has run all over Tennessee Tech. 414 rushing yards, 10 different ball carriers, and they have certainly eaten up the clock here tonight.
But Tennessee Tech just threw a touchdown, so they've got some momentum now building on the offensive side. Is it too little too late? I'm trying to find the silver lining out there. It's been a tough night for the home opener for the Golden Eagles.
Perhaps, but again, you said something they can carry over until next week as their first offensive score of the season. Looking around the FCS, the news and notes, North Dakota State, the Bison are still #1. And how about victories over FBS programs? Kennesaw State was really close last week, but you see the 5 FCS teams listed there. And Aggie Pride rolling in Greensboro as North Carolina A&T defeated Eastern Carolina. And that game was delayed because of weather, had to be played on Sunday, and the Aggies go on the road and make it happen. How about a lot of delays? Because, I mean, we sat around for about an hour before the kick of this game.
That time of year where the weather starts to come in, let's hope none of those bad storms down south get any more serious. But how about the North Carolina A&T victory over East Carolina? Quote of the year from head coach Sam Washington, North Carolina A&T. Pay me my money.
Yep, I saw it.
They were celebrating in the locker room. Everybody's happy. And he said, oh, yeah, one more thing. Pay me my money. So it's a tough money game there when you expect to win, and good job to North Carolina A&T. There were some people that thought they Might have been a fluke when they beat Jacksonville State down there in Montgomery for the FCS Kickoff Classic. And as I said before, I think they're off to the most impressive start of any program. Now, the FCS Top 10 has them number 5, and my power ranks will have them number 3. But Sam Houston State, see, I got a question mark about Sam Houston State. You don't lose the Peyton Award winner from a season ago, Jeremiah Briscoe at quarterback, and just think it's going to be smooth sailing. I'm sure the rest of the conference is gearing up for them, and we'll see. They've got a matchup this weekend versus Prairie View A&M.
We saw them with a big win over North Carolina Central in that MEAC SWAC Challenge on Sunday. Who else stands out to you, Jay? You talked about A&T, and
I think South Dakota State could have one of the most explosive players in the country. I talked about Grubauer, the quarterback at Eastern Washington. Talk about option, that Wofford team every year. And Sanford's a team. Be careful for Sanford. They're in the same conference, Tennessee Tech. They're in the OVC. They're starting to emerge as a continual power on an annual basis. I think the thing that shocks me the most there, looking at that top 10, I didn't see a lot of representation from the CAA, Colonial Athletic Conference. A lot of people call that the SEC of FCS football. Looking back on it, I don't know how many teams I saw from there. Maybe one team listed in the top 10 from the CAA. I might have missed one, but at the top 10.
I didn't see. Well, James Madison, we saw the runner-up for a season
That's
ago, and the Dukes.
Yeah, but we're the typical powers. We're the William & Marys. Villanova's rising. They're not top 10 yet. Villanova's always in there. Richmond's always in that loop.
So on the punt, and Tennessee Tech will have it. 9:17 to go here in the fourth from Cookeville. Saturday night college football coming your way. Dabo versus Jimbo as number 2 Clemson taking on Texas A&M and College Station. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. And also live on the ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere. Remember, ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Hampton by Hilton. David Gist with the handoff, the freshman from right here in Cookeville, a product of Cookeville High School.
What do you think about Cookeville? Your first time here to Cookeville. I've been here before. They welcomed me back. What did you think about the Ville?
Yeah, it's charming. It's charming. I enjoyed it. We ate at the Blue Pig by way of the recommendation of Wayne Alexander. The head coach should never steer you wrong, and he didn't. Some enjoyable barbecue. I had the beef brisket. And when you look at this school, you asked him on the call, Jay, why Tennessee Tech? Why do you draw into Cookeville?
And he mentioned he liked the location. We're an hour away from Nashville. You're an hour and 15 minutes away from Knoxville. And I don't think being that close to Knoxville is a good thing because this is volunteer country. But centrally located, you can get to 2 major airports if you need to. And then, like I say, when you get here to Cookeville, and it's something I like, there's nothing but Tennessee Tech here. Like, Tennessee Tech is the city of Cookeville, quaint town, growing town. I came here probably 6-7 years ago, and it's grown by leaps and bounds since I was here last. So maybe you get the right formula in place. This could be a destination, regular stop in the OVC for championships, which is what they want here.
Yeah, well, Tech feels like they've got the right guy just because of the ties that Dwayne Alexander has to the university, a graduate of here. Also played with the Golden Eagles and has made a return trip to Cookeville. It's been all of his coaching career in the state of Tennessee. 3 decades. Came over from East Tennessee State. Prior to that, he was at Cumberland in a IA school on the way between here and Nashville.
How'd you like the food last night? Now, I told you, you get barbecue everywhere.
Yeah.
When I think of Cookeville, Tennessee, I mentioned it on the call with the first time I ever had fried pickles in my life.
Yeah, they switched up the pickle game, though. They did a full, like, pickle, whole dill. I'm used to, the little cut-up pickles, the sliced pickles.
Sliced dills, but yeah, they did it like thirds and quarters, actually. I thought they were delicious. That fried pickle was good. And also had some white barbecue sauce. They call it the Peter Cotton. It was good.
That was yummy. That was yummy. I like the innovation there. Dwayne Alexander is certainly hopeful for what he can do at his alma mater. The last time they won the OVC was back in 2011 when his offensive coordinator led the way. But this is the destination when you're in the state of Tennessee as Bailey Fisher took
man.
brutal hit after he released that football.
This is why you say when games get away from you, you take out your starting quarterback. This is probably one of the most hardest hits I've seen on a quarterback in a long
Personal
time.
foul, targeting, number 44 of the defense.
I mean, look,
That's a
one
15-yard
guy
penalty.
spinning, recognizing,
Number
so you got
44 is
somebody
disqualified.
coming from
The previous
behind
play is under
and
further
then in
review.
the front, and he was absolutely leveled.
Yeah. Targeting is the call on the field. And number 44, Charlie Patrick.
absolutely.
Ouch.
Absolutely. And you know what made it so much harder was Bailey was going down because he was being tripped up from behind. So he had no way to defend himself at all. And that helmet was lowered. That is targeting, and that should be an ejection penalty and everything.
And that was textbook targeting, if you will, in terms of how dangerous that hit was. And if the call stands, be ejected from this game and the first half of the next game. You see right here.
He's going down. Ball's released. Lowered his helmet, shoulder. That's the
Necessary.
helmet.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, that's an easy one. That's a tough hit. I'm just happy to see that Bailey Fisher was able to get up and walk off the field.
I mean, that was just absolutely huge hit. So we're waiting on the final word from Dustin Whitehead.
After review, the ruling is confirmed. 44 is disqualified.
Like you said, Jay, that was an easy call, so he will leave the field and he will miss the first half of next game. So Luke Ward will now be under center for Tech. Bailey Fisher actually beat out the upperclassmen. We just hope that Fisher is okay. Well, Jay, you've been here before, so you enjoyed it. But one of the things that we noticed about Tech in this crowd before the weather came in was the fact that, hey, what a good fan base. They were ramped up for this Thursday night game.
They were excited. They were hyped. They were amped. They were really geared up. But I think the weather took a lot. The thunder and there was lightning, and they tried to stay as long as they could. With the weather delayed, it being rainstorms a little bit, I think that kind of dampened it. And then you look up on TV and you see the score, your team's down 21-3 quickly. They took it out, and that's a good sign there to see Bailey Fisher up, walking around on the sideline.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 34 of the defense. That is his first of the game. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Starting to get a little chippy down there. That one called on Bryson Perry, sophomore. But one of the things that coaches talked about is the fact that Fisher, you see there, the extracurricular, Josh Cunningham.
I don't mind that. This is a blowout game. Let it go. You could have called it on either one. So often we say it's always the second person that gets caught with the penalty.
Fisher will watch on as Luke Ward hands it off to DJ Worthy. And one of the things, characteristics that the coaches talked about in describing their true freshman quarterback, said, yeah, he's a bright kid, but more importantly, he's tough.
He's tough. He proved his toughness tonight. 19 of 30. We saw a couple drops, so he'd have been. He's over 50% throwing, can be efficient with it. And I think what they're going to do is change their offensive mindset. This is an offense that came out saying we want to run first, then do some play action, then do some drop back passing. I think with Bailey Fisher, if he can limit the turnovers in terms of the interceptions, control the ball a little bit more, I think they're going to have to open up the offense, because I just don't know. I haven't seen it tonight. This is a very good team they're facing, but I don't think this is the offensive line that can just blow people away and push you off the ball. And they're going to have to rely on their young freshman quarterback to make some plays with his arm.
Ward going for the end zone and just overthrows his man. What a showing tonight for Kennesaw State. Is Dwayne Alexander going for it, but the Owls making their national television debut.
Number 2 for Tennessee Tech must leave the game for an equipment violation.
Number 2 just got sent to the sideline. Equipment violation.
That is your favorite new rule, Jay. You like it. Knee pads. You have to cover the knee pads.
Timeout, Kennesaw State. It's their first timeout.
It's Kennesaw State takes the timeout. Just a reminder that our annual Week 1 Monday Night Football doubleheader kicks off September 10th with the Lions hosting the Jets in the Motor City at 7:10 Eastern. At 10:15, Jared Goff and Todd Gurley with the Rams are in Oakland to battle John Gruden's Raiders. The games will simulcast on ESPN2 in Spanish and are also available on the ESPN app.
Interesting storylines there. Sam Darnold going to start. Quarterback there. And what's Gruden doing out there in Oakland? He's not making any fans, letting Khalil Mack get away from him.
Yeah, that was a big blow. Big blow for sure. You're talking about one of your defensive leaders and one of the best linebackers in the game. Can't afford to say bye-bye there. Who do you think is going to surprise in the NFL this year as Ward goes down at 4th and 8? And we will quickly step aside, so I'll get your thoughts when we come back. Jay, Kennesaw State on top.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first and only hybrid minivan. And Caramel M&Ms, we're making caramel fun.
Good look there at the Golden Eagle, but it's the Owls who have been flying high from Kennesaw State. Second drive for the third-string quarterback, Tommy Bryant. And getting an opportunity just to see the depth of this Owls team. Kevin Ficklin on the carry.
Let's check a theory here. I'll give you some little NFL locker room stuff. So never forget, I was in my first NFL game, got to play, and then we're watching tape the next day, and like Warren Moon, he's like, man, look how sweet you carry out your play action fakes. He's like, you're excited. So the backup quarterback, when they get in, especially the third string guy, watch and see how much he carries out his fake. Little extra step in the footwork. You see that? Everything's perfect. Nice pitch. Nice call.
And
there you go.
It's Ficklin up the sideline. And a touchdown saving tackle perhaps by Branson Cram.
I like the effort by the quarterback. You see him make the pitch and then keep running down the field and actually got a block in, a secondary block. So you see him with the pitch. Now watch him keep going with the running back. He's excited and then makes a little block, gets in the way. Okay. No, he did it because he carried out that fake all the way.
That's right. He's trying to do it right. He's got to impress the coaches, Jay.
That's what a pitch that just let him keep going, but he did a good job of carrying out his fake.
Ryan, a sophomore out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Go back to those days.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Yeah.
No, that's the home of.
Yeah. Roll Tide.
No, Dreamland Barbecue. What are you?
Oh, come on. Wait a minute. You were going back to barbecue?
I'm not going to pick a side. Football. I think Tuscaloosa. I think about Dreamland Barbecue and the bread and pops.
We see what's really on your mind.
I set you up for that.
Yeah, you did. It's like, come on, man. Come on now, baby, as my track coach used to say. But I appreciate you shouting out and giving the love to the third string quarterback, because again, he knows he's being graded, knows he's being watched.
That was me once upon a time.
Yeah,
You start off third string, then you get to second, then you become starter, and then you take it serious. I always tell everybody, like in the NFL, when you're the backup quarterback, compete for a job, those preseason games where it's the fourth quarter and nobody cares about them, that's our Super Bowl. Like, we're going out there trying to grade out perfect to show you can do it. So the thing about playing quarterback, only one at a time on the field. So third string guy gets in there, you got to feel for him and hope he can do a good job.
Hand off to the fullback, Kyle Glover. You know, it's kind of that mindset of you dress for your opportunity where you want to, you know, be, you act, do the things, all that are necessary, put you in the position of where you see yourself in the future.
You never know. You know, I remember in high school, I got into my first high school game when the starting quarterback broke his chin strap. I had to be ready now. You're going to think I'm lying, but my first high school pass was a touchdown, so I was ready.
A big pickup on 4th and 1, moves the sticks, and Isaac Foster. Seeing him a little bit tonight. He's had himself a solid evening. Actually, all of the backs for Kennesaw State.
Yeah, they brought out the full arsenal here tonight. And I'm going to be very curious as to what the national landscape thinks about Kennesaw State after this performance here tonight. 500 yards rushing.
Those are eye-popping numbers as they led the nation in rushing a season ago. We're talking about just how young this program is. It's a program record as Bryant decides to call his own number, and he's in for the score. Nice to be rewarded with that, right?
That's what college football is all about. Third string quarterback comes into the game on TV, and he gets to get in the record book and the stat book with a touchdown. Showing you there off the fake. You know, he was keeping that all the way. And like Tupac said, I ain't mad at you.
How about the love on the sideline for your boy, Tommy Bryant? Big ups to your boy. He scores the touchdown. Kennesaw State with 1:38 remaining, feeling good. You see your boy, Tommy Bryant. He's all smiles, dancing. Brian Bohannon's team has done an amazing job. Unreal numbers rushing. 507. That's a new program record for this, again, very young team, but
they may break that again this year.
Yeah. And get this, how often do you see 12 different guys rush in a game?
So, you know, the theme of this was the old school option. These are some dominating performances like those Oklahoma teams used to put on people. Oklahoma used to like beat up on Kansas State, like in Kansas, like 65-3 with 700 yards. So this is a powerhouse team. If you're going to play Kennesaw State schedule, you better bring your lunch pail with you.
No doubt, they are picked to finish first as they are the reigning Big South champs. They, along with Charleston Southern, are the only two Big South teams to make it to the FCS playoffs. Coastal Carolina, of course, was a part. They moved to FBS, playing now in the Sun Belt.
And I think it was because, you know, when you look at those teams that play in the Big South, no household names that you're used to hearing about. So I think it was because of that why people kind of took them lightly. But once they got into the postseason and won, then that got some attention to people.
A couple of non-conference games coming up, but I think at the end of the season, Jay, what's most intriguing is the fact that they'll play an OBC opponent in Jacksonville State, and that game will be played at SunTrust Park, the home of the Atlanta Braves for the regular season finale.
Yeah, a little bit of a rematch right there. What we saw, Kennesaw State ousted the Gamecocks last year in the FCS playoff. They play in Clark, Atlanta, Division II school based out of Atlanta. a little local game there.
When you think about what's coming up for Tech and talk about that FCS landscape all the more, we're talking about an Austin P team too that comes out of the OVC who was snagged, but this is not easy right here with Jacksonville State, then Tennessee
Eastern
State
Illinois, always an OVC contender. Utah State, they're going out there playing a money game, so that's not going to be easy. Then a very talented Tennessee State squad with Rod Reed down in Nashville, so this team's going to have to grow up real quick. And real quick if they want to try and compete for the conference.
Cam Singletary shakes a couple of defenders. And certainly not the home opener that Dwayne Alexander would have wanted for his team. As Kennesaw State just pulled away after Tech jumped on the board.
They let him come back in the game. He was the one that had to leave because of the uniform violation. And he still got those pads above those knees. That's still a violation, but 49-10, the officials let him stick around this time.
Well, that's it. Ryan Bohannon and Kennesaw State rack up their first win of the season. Move to 1-1 on the year. Meanwhile, Dwayne Alexander and Golden Eagles up to 0-2. This was the national stage, the debut for Kennesaw State. Your final thoughts, Jay?
They're good. They are as good as advertised. They've got a formula and a recipe, and it's just a matchup nightmare. If you can't stop the run, don't even show up to play Kennesaw State.
They gashed them on the ground for a program record in rushing. Kennesaw State, the big dogs out of the Big South. For Jay Walker and our entire crew, I'm Tiffany Green, signing off from Cookeville.